Straw Pictiúr de Drochaimsir an Gheimhridh Aeráide. So the bad winter weather and climate change. So it does look, first of all, Factor Colin, we see a girl and boy at Bracknell looking at a documentary, Claire Fashion, prime time and telefish, as it seems. On top of if we cobble what the subject that was being discussed, we cobble on the programme was on Athrú Aeráide in Erin, climate change in Ireland, Ledani recently. Glock actually accepted Gur Husing and Buchel that the boy started explain of share. He was thinking back of the cursey drug I'm sure the bad weather, Timple across the country. Darlish and Colleen, according to the girl, five cost Abbey. It's a complicated problem or issue. It's though gur ancient Lakela. I suppose they agreed with each other. Gur Kersey, I'm sure that the weather in Ireland was dull because it was getting worse. August never aided them. They couldn't basically nav out a horse Aaron scale Trump Cruiser show, and they couldn't ignore nav out a horse. Any nav out a horse to ignore this awful situation. Scale can mean story, can also mean situation. Mars Oldridge, as we know, or as you know, even talked to we there, we noticed Chuckmore Squitcher. We know it's a big detached house, covered with a broth Trump schnocked with a heavy blanket of snow. Gone 8 hours about without any doubt at all. Vijay Sutter was clear, go hitting schnocked, the snow fell heavily, good Trump. Own spare Gov Gurkha from the dark black sky. Sakura in the background. Pay scale, however, Coogan shucked. The temperature went up to game free. Row Fincher went 8 degrees below freezing points. Row Fincher. Gone in ago, however, Larita has shown us the picture. Showed this picture. Keiko Darrow, how bleak is the Visha it was on Law Irish on that particular day. And news are shin as well as that hit the Caloga schnock to Aaron Tolliv. Snowflakes fell on the ground. Dave Farrar, you could say. Oops, let's put back up there. Dave Farrar, Grouchy Prague, you could say it was freezing even outside. Tave down the global warming was the coosh, was the reason behind this, Darlin Fain, according to me. Picture 3, Tommy Ninish, and shortly after that, because it was a curse knock to go chum because it was snowing heavily, Flask burst. Flask cans the Piedmont, one the pipes burst. Flask cans the Piedmont. Who was up St. Aller in the attic, Sakay Latin fixture in the first part of the picture. Aaron Drucker, unfortunately, Gurt on Tishka, not Dirt, but Gurt. The water poured a newest street on Sheelal, poured through the roof, basically the excrissu on tea, destroying the house, and there was a on top of that. Sheelal can be roof or ceiling. Live rock bound, not bound, but bound immediately or straight away. Honig Plumer air on torch, and Plumer came on the spot. Varty Shea car, he parked his car in a collision chalk beside the house. August his Audi, I suppose, Grouchy Glace. It looked like he was Glacy. He was dressed in Vorvrisha in his overalls. Called Motlashin as well as that, or his work clothes, you can say as well, Vorvrisha. Called Motlashin as well as that. But Lair Grev Coster in a love it. It looked like he had a working tool or a spanner almost in his hand. Coster is right for a spanner or a working tool in his hand. Glockter Lesh, it's accepted. Gur Yeshi that he fixed on P1, he fixed the pipe. A Husson that cost Gawk that cost €200. Devar na drug Irish because of the bad weather. Vedig on Tarkas T go Tuberstock. House insurance rose Vedic in a bad way or drastically good Tuberstock. So is again say everybody knows Gorhonig on steering wheel faucet the awful storm came. Darm and according to me Husing and Gui exshaded the winds started to blow good Trum heavily. August Bolair it was clear Griff on Voshak it was clear that the rain was unbelievable come up meaning as well. Mars Oldridge, as you know, hit on Cron and it was Aaron Cardick the tree fell down on the car, which was a Tastel, which was travelling Aram over on the road. We're in a Doka Morgan car. The car was really damaged or harmed, but Alvary until luckily enough, Honig on Tamani Oggs the passenger Slán, the driver and the passengers were safe. Hitting a strong electrica, the electrical wires fell ferociously. Go fiuk for Aaron Tolliv on the ground. August Neo chased the vault and it wasn't safe to be Teven Whippy to be outside. Kaime Ava, I must admit, Gerbuino get over us and dinner. The person got a massive fright who was a Tamont on Glution who was driving the car. Dave for Cursey Vetnick's massive. Things could have been worse. Gone 8 hours without any doubt at all. Mar Nivor Anya boss because nobody died. Picture Cook Ferrer, unfortunately, Vilna Tilcha, the floods destroyed places. Ochna, Gorky, August Vector Car, we see cars are flooded in Malya Clea Freshen in Dublin as well. Gonro Will, MHOV sound. Will, Honig the service Egan Dala. The emergency services came, Aaron Lauher to the site. Dirk Inesian shortly after hosted a Tarhaldini decided to rescue people Labadin in a small little boat. August Bolergrove Jackety at Royalty, it was clear that people had several difficulties. Agar Fogel leaving their cars, Agar Ogle, Marial because Grav on Tish because obviously the water was a Glina Suez was filling up. Bufosk scale it was such an awful situation. Kahime Alva I must admit. Jerkin I'd imagine or I'd say Grav Chunaker Dual Talk like Tilch the floods had a negative impact Ergonohi Exula on various businesses of the encounter of the area. Durera Vara, from my point of view, Nero Sulabeku, less until they weren't expecting these floods. Talk to Fidel, we noticed Krogach Nanini, we noticed the bravery of the people, a Caro Leshan Pobble helping the public who were in bunk, who were in trouble. Massam, I think, Massam, I think, Gurkurna Serge Egan Dal, I think that the emergency services plus the people who are worried at their ease. Era Subas, August Larishin, they spoke Gus Shave, look what they spoke softly to them as well. Last picture down, Pictiúr down then is Dara here help finally. Take the grev on Sraith Ozone, we know that the ozone layer was in a bad way. August Aaron Tivel on the other hand, Vina Knapping or the ice caps were egg laugh fresh and were melting as well. Vishay Philosoph, it was obvious grev on Timblocks in Whale that the environment was in danger. August Asian Roch, and that said Fector Kuma Imlach or Ogden and Negori, we see that the teenagers come across. Any Kuma or Kuma means to come across. So Fector we see where Kuma Imlach or Ogden and Negori or Ogden Negori. We see that the teenagers were worried or came across as anxious, come up meaning as well. Fighters we get an insight, Gurvohi, we get an insight or a glimpse. Gurvohi and Dini Oga that the young people felt depressed, Grumach, Mar Bollair, because it was clear of Graku because they had passion or love for the environment. Aaron Jock or Kiapshi, they thought Knocker Canary on down, they thought that world leaders, Canary on down, weren't a Janev and Yeel, were doing their best. Condol and Lech to tackle, Lesh on scale, Dimok Show to tackle this awful situation.